Just like that, we're live. Hi, it's Karen coming from Salt and Sand Studios. Super snowy day on this December 7th. Looking forward to a bit of relaxation with you this morning. Class will actually be a little shorter, between 40 and 45 minutes, with a focus on the gift of relaxation. I was thinking the other day about how we call it a yoga practice. Some people say, I'm going to do yoga, or I'm going to yoga class. In fact, like band practice or football practice or lacrosse practice or soccer practice or vocal practice, yoga is a practice. It's not about performing necessarily or competing, but if you think about it in terms of your automatic performance of your behavior and your reaction, your responses, it kind of does come in that package. So today we're focusing on the gift of relaxation because we are in a season of transition, a season that can often be seen as joyous and often be seen as depressing. So I recommend, if you don't have a bolster like this, that you grab a bed pillow or two, or maybe a couple of cushions from a couch or a chair, or a couple throw pillows, because we're going to be propping ourselves today. So the first place we're going to go together is child's pose. So in this child's pose, we want to get our body as close to the ground as possible, so we actually gain the assistance of a bed pillow or a couple of throw pillows or a bolster. So the knees come wide, the big toes touch just like normal. Draw the belly in, walk the hands down. You can place your forehead or your cheek on the pillow. You really want to work it. You might need to adjust to drive the sitting bones toward the heels like you would normally do. And I encourage a little bit of turning of the head, maybe a few breaths in one direction and then a few breaths in another. If you like, the hands can rest on blocks or the arms, or you can rest them on the pillow or bolster or on the mat. You want to take the effort out of the shoulders, and you want your tailbone to be tucked a little bit. Breathe in fully. Breathe out completely. And in and out. And then gently turn your head to the other side. Five breaths. Gently rise upward, staying on your knees. You can move your bolster or pillows away. Gonna draw the knees together just a little bit and sit back once again. See how it feels. If you need to place something behind your knees because they don't bend that far, feel free. You're gonna also place something under your knees or even double over your mat so that your knees don't hurt on the ground. Shrug, drop the hands by the side, shrug the shoulders up. Reach them behind you, squeeze the shoulder blades together, drop them. And again, up. And drop. And up. And drop. Now we're going to rise up to the knees, arms overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart. It's like a kneeling samastiki. You might make a little more space between your knees. I don't know about you, but I've got a lot of tightness in the piriformis, and then into the IT band and the quads as a result of kind of curling up at night in bed, staying warm. So we're going to go ahead and do a little back opening, a little quad opening. Take the heels of the hands, place them at your low back, press the flesh down, and press the hips forward. Just feel that. Press the shoelace sides of the feet into the earth. Take that again. Press the flesh backward, behind you, down, hips forward, and lengthen the torso this time. Start to feel a little bit more in the quads. Now, press the flesh behind you, down, hips forward, lengthen the torso, squeeze the shoulder blades, and maybe lift the chin or drop the head back. I find a little rocking forward and backward feels good. I'm going to stack the shoulders over the hips once again. Drop your hands and helicopter. If you can slap any of the spots, tops of the shoulders, under the arms, outside the rib cages, biceps, go ahead and do that, but you don't want to do it too hard. Beautiful. Arms sweep up. And exhale, hands together at your heart. We're going to move into a different kind of tabletop, cat-cow, etc. So you're going to come onto your forearms in a tabletop. So just make sure the elbows are under the shoulders and the knees are under the hips. The fingers are nice and wide. This feels very different from your standard tabletop. You're working to draw the palms, if possible, flat onto the ground. Engage the fingertips and the forearm almost as if you're drawing the mat backward. Then for our cats and cows, we're actually going to take our right foot and shoot it out to the right, bringing the outer edge of the foot onto the ground. So you might feel your inner thighs starting to stretch. Round the space between your shoulders and pause here for a moment. Really use the outer edge of that foot, and the top of the left foot should be pressing into the earth. And now your cats and cows, they might be smaller, less deep, or shallower, I guess is the right word, than it would be otherwise. You might take that side to side movement. Really works with the hips. Find a neutral spine, draw the belly in, and lift and sweep that right leg over the left calf as far outside your mat as possible. I'm going to start with the top of the foot on the ground, and then glide that foot away and back, aiming the front of your left hip, your right hip toward your left heel. For me, I have to bring my arms back a bit. This is a wonderful glute stretch. And if you have more to play with here, you can always tuck under the right toes to float that right knee off the mat and reach the heel farther behind you. If you need something to place your head on, you can always make fists soft, fists of your hands, and stack them to hold the forehead. You can take advantage of your bolster or your pillow as well. Bring your arms back into the forearm tabletop and sweep your right leg behind you. Reach the heel behind you. Take a couple cats and cows from here, trying to square up the hips. Neutral spine, draw your knee back down to the mat. Little child's pose or maybe a rolling cat-cow here. or rolling tabletop. Not sure what you want to call it. And then once again, we find the forearm tabletop. Cats and cows. Really press that floor away. Feel the activation of the triceps and underneath the arms when you come into the cat shape, especially. Looking side to side, moving the hips with the turn of the head. Neutral spine, this time left leg moves out to the left. Bringing the outer edge of that foot to the earth. And our cats and cows here. Our half moon shapes, not the standing kind. And now our glute opener, neutral spine. Sweep that leg up behind and over the right calf. As far away from you as you can get it, as far away from that as you can get it. And just begin to shift the front of the left hip to the right heel. And again, if you have more to work with, you might tuck your toes under to extend the left leg. If you need something under your head, allow that to happen. Rest the shoulders. So this is how you find the gift of relaxation within yoga while still gaining some stretch from it. The relaxation itself is beneficial. For some people, it's very difficult because the mind works very fast and things pop into the head. And for other people, it's hard for their body to stay still. This is a great practice for both of those things. All right, forearms return to the ground, sweeping that left leg straight behind us. We reach the heel away and tabletop. Draw the bottom toward the heels. So your arms stretch out, the elbows reach off the mat and come onto your fingertips. Make sure your knees are parallel and your feet are as wide as your knees. Walk the hands over to the left. If you need your pillow under your belly or your head, take it. You're going to drop your head. Maybe even drop the forearms. Feeling the right side of the body stretch from the right hip crease all the way to the right pinky fingertip. Inhale your way through to center. Exhale. Inhale again, breathe out, walk your hands over to the right. Hands walk through to center. Forearms come to the mat. And then the palms draw together with the pinkies on the mat. The thumbs, that's the right digit, are toward the sky. Bend the elbows, bring the hands to the nape of the neck or between your shoulder blades. And one at a time, only as far as you can go. Walk the elbows forward without lifting the bottom away from the heels. Doing a little bit more opening in the shoulders, the armpits,
across the chest. See what happens if you draw the belly in a little bit. Beautiful. Hands return to the mat. We rise up and find our way to a seat. Now, if you feel better with the knees dropping a little bit left and right, you might go ahead and sit on something, drawing your sitting bones toward the front edge of whatever the thing is. We're going to start with a starfish pose, drawing the heels and the balls of the feet together. We sit up nice and tall. And here we're simply going to start by noticing the hip creases, the heart, and the shoulders. You don't want the shoulders up by the ears or pulling forward. We want the belly a little active. And the knees love to like sort of sprawling upward toward the sky. And the idea here is to breathe into those hip creases to soften the knees, which is also one of the reasons sitting on a prop can help. All right, if you can, scoop your wrists underneath your ankles and the fingers or palms come to the tops of the ankles or the tops of the feet. And we use our elbows to help draw us forward and draw the thighs and knees away and down. Round your head, round your spine, round your head. Your head is roundish. Round your spine, drop your head. Rise up. Sit up nice and tall. And then draw your hands behind you with the fingers pointing toward your bottom. We're going to drop onto one forearm at a time. You might scoop your heels a little closer to your sitting bones. And then kind of like we did when we were kneeling, we're going to draw the belly in, press the tailbone toward the sky. Then lengthen the torso, press into the forearms and squeeze the shoulder blades together. Drop the head back. A nice heart opener. Use your belly to rise back up to your seat. We're going to take the right leg and extend it. If you have a prop, you're going to place it under your knee. This prop is a little big for that, but that's okay. And then I'm taking the sole of the left foot to the short end of the prop. Otherwise, if you're not using a prop, the left foot comes against the right inner thigh. Or if you have super tight hamstrings, it can come to the inside of the left calf. So we're going to sit up really tall. The heart will face the right knee. And now imagine sort of like frosting a cake. The belly will come to the thigh first as the heart reaches forward, and then only go as far as you can. You rather would have a straight back than a rounded back. I can feel my left knee popping up. I'm using my prop for my hands and reaching my heart past my toes. The idea here is to soften into the pose. So rather than force it, let the body drape itself. So I'm going to soften my right foot and sort of do that frosting spread thing. In the end, the head can drop down. Slowly on an out breath, rise back to your seat. And we're going to take that to the other side. So I'm moving the prop, plopping the left leg onto the prop, propping the prop. Sole of my foot goes to the end of the prop. I'm starting out with an activated left foot. We set up super tall. And like we're spreading frosting on a cake, belly first. Softening into the fold right from the hips. And then when I've gone as far as I feel like I can go, I'll take one more spread wide breath, drop the head and loosen the toes, loosen the right hip crease. On a breath out, rise to your seat. And we're going to take that with both legs. So I'll move my prop to the center. You might say, oh, it's really hard to sit up this way. Make sure the knees are bent a little bit and we'll sit up nice and tall. Toes pointed up or toward the torso first. And like we're spreading frosting, the belly comes to the thighs, then the rib cage and the chest. And you take a big breath in. Relax into it. Breath out, belly in, rise up. I'm going to try something here that lots of people like to do. I'm just going to roll my prop forward one. It's a little too far. Some people like to sit in their cross-legged position with their feet on a prop. I find that not that easy to do, but I'm going to try it. Now sit up nice and tall. It's a little hip opener. And then assuming your ankles were crossed, we're going to cross them the other way and give that a shot. Beautiful. We're going to come out of this, moving the prop a little bit. And we're going to take some side tilts. Ankles crossed. Hands reach up over your head. Bring the palms behind your head, but your fingers are just sort of behind your ears. We'll start with a twist to the right, and then we'll dip the left elbow toward the right knee. It might not touch. We'll come back up, twist to the left, and dip, twist to dip. Rise back up. Exhale, twist and dip. Rise up. Breathe out, twist, and dip. Drop the right hand to the earth. You're on your fingertips and reach the left arm high. Don't anticipate anything. Send the sitting bones to the earth and lengthen the side bodies. Shoulders release from your ears. Breath in and a tilt over to the right. You might crawl your right fingers away from you. You might bring your forearm to the ground. You might bring your hand behind your head, which could help open up your heart a little bit more. And then we're going to dip again. Inhale, peel open. And dip. Inhale, peel open. One more time, dip. Inhale, peel open. Rise up. Both hands behind your head. Sorry, that was a really loud noise. It startled me. Arms out to the sides. Flip the palms up. Feel, feel, feel. Oh, it's our snowplow. That's what's going on. And palms down. And palms up. This time, left hand down to the mat right outside your body. Right arm lifts. Breathe in. Exhale, tilt over to the left. Crawl that left arm away from you. If it feels right, maybe the forearm comes down. Maybe the hand comes behind the head. Inhale, heart nice and high. This time, dip. Inhale up. And dip. Inhale up. Last time, dip. Rise up. Both hands behind the head, and then we bring them around in front of us with the fingers interlaced, and then change the interlace to the awkward way. Press the arms forward. We're going to take a little wrist work. So we're going to bring the left hand fingertips facing down with the back of the hand outward. Use the other hand to help out. It might be a little too much, so just be careful. We're not injuring anything. And the palm faces up and away from you. The right hand helps out. And then the palm faces outward, but the fingers downward. And we work that, working to stretch the inner arm, I forget what you call it, the carpal tunnel and the beginnings of the C as well, up on the inside of the elbow. And we'll take it the other way. The left hand helps the right hand with the palms outward and fingers up. Fingers point down, back of the hand faces outward. Flip the palm over, palm out, fingers down. Beautiful. We're going to find our way into a tabletop again. We're going to work the glutes, the piriformis, the quads, and if you like, maybe even a back bend. Oh, and also the hip flexors. So come into your tabletop, take your left foot and place it outside the left hand. Tuck your right toes under and just scoot your right knee back a little bit. If you need something underneath it, go ahead and make that happen. And then we'll rise up. Hips should be squared up. So go ahead and take your left thumb, squeeze it into the left hip crease, and then spin that thigh outward. See if you can maintain that. Front foot flat on the ground, lots of energy in the big toe mound. Lots of energy in the top of the back foot. And then we squeeze our right glutes, send the pelvis forward. You might stay here, hands by your sides. You might bring your hands to your hips or to your heart, whatever feels okay. We're not going to move into the back bend yet. I'm tilting, so I've got to go adjust myself. But we're working the piriformis, the hip flexor, the quad, and the glutes on the right side here. And imagine with the front foot, you're sort of drawing the mat backward. 6 breaths. Wobbliness can be remediated by moving the left foot out to the left. Add the back bend in. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Palms can face forward. Sink a little further into your front hip crease. You can also lift your arms over your head if you like. Very good. Your hands will come down, framing your front foot. Move into a twist, right hand down, the heel of the left hand at your low back, and the twist to the left. You might take a half bind, but make sure that left knee is pointing straight forward and up. Lots of energy in the big toe mound of that front foot. Don't forget about the right glutes and pressing the top side of that right foot into the earth. Left hand comes inside the left foot. Come back into the tabletop. Maybe 3 or 4 breaths in a child's pose. And we'll move to the other side, tabletop. Right foot outside the right hand. Use your hands to get it there if need be. Knee points straight to the sky. Maybe a little tuck of the back toe to bring the knee backward a little bit. And we rise up. All the same shenanigans, shigga-digginess on this side. So front foot all the way on the ground. Knee right above the ankle. Activate left glutes. That will activate your hip flexors, your piriformis, and your quads. As will pressing the top of the left foot into the earth and pressing the whole right foot, especially the big toe mound, into the earth. Hands can be by your sides, nice and soft arms. Let them hang. Sink a little deeper into your front hip crease. Draw the shoulder blades together. Palms face forward, your back bend. Hands frame your front foot. Left hand stays down, heel of the right hand on your low back. Lift halfway, exhale, twist. Press into that big toe mound on the right foot. All right, we're gonna bring the hands down, come back into tabletop, find our way to a seat. With a few minutes left, you're gonna take your prop, whatever that is, you're gonna place it behind you, even if it's a rolled up blanket, a rolled up mat, bed pillow, and you're gonna place it hopefully straight, which I just didn't do, but so that it is kind of, the mat is crinkling up. You want it to be right behind your bottom. And if you need 2 pillows, 2 throw pillows, 2 cushions, that's okay. If you don't have a prop, what we're doing is going into a back bend. So if you have a back bend as part of your practice, you can take that here. So I'm going to start by bringing my soles of my feet to the ground, which is where they're going to stay. And lie back. Whew. If you need something under your head, take it. You definitely want your knees bent here. And then your arms just flop out. It's like an automatic back bend because of the prop. Feel all the parts of the body, any sensations taking place, any of your senses that are at the forefront, sense of smell, taste, sound, touch, and sight. And if one doesn't come to the fore, maybe you just bring it to mind and be aware and observe. Now, if you're here and you would like to add in a little pelvic tilt, you can go ahead and do that. Makes it a little bit easier to do something akin to a bridge. And you can drop your bottom back down. If you need to scoot forward so that the end of the prop is more at the middle of your back, feel free. Which I'm going to do just to try it. I've been doing some pelvic tilts. Oh, that feels good. So yeah, go ahead and shift a little bit so that the end, if you will, the bottom end of your prop is right underneath your shoulder blades. You can still do a pelvic tilt or a bridge from here, working the core, working the pelvic block. And now you're welcome to remain here or move into legs up the wall without your prop, or find a twist potentially without your prop as well. I'm going to try it with deeper twist. And if your prop has become too much, feel free to free yourself from it. And what we're going to do today, wherever you are, finish your 3 to 5 breaths, is we're going to come out of the back bend. We're going to end exactly the way we began in child's pose. So go ahead and take our prop,
And we're going to end in child's pose. We're not even going to Om today. 6 breaths on either side of your face, as it were. And the other side. And with your forehead or chin to your prop or to the mat, if you're in child's pose directly on your mat. Just consider how you'd like to live out the rest of your day. What attitude, what behavior, what reactions, what observations. And as I mentioned, we're closing practice early due to a local community commitment. The Waitsfield holiday walkabout. And we'll move away from our prop or child's pose. Just draw the hands together. Bring them to your forehead. Namaste. Thank you so much for being with me, whether you're with me live or on Memorex. And I hope you have a really wonderful day, and I see some of you soon. And again, I'm Karen, coming to you from Salt and Sand Studios. It was terrific to be with you. Take care.